What's up, guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Saman Habibi, your real estate agent for the Durham region. As always, if you have any questions or if you want to connect with me personally, my calendar link is below. And also, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, follow my socials. We'll leave all the links down below here. And let's jump right into the video. So thank you, Sarath, for being here. Sarath's my friend in the area. This is your principal residence, and this is your first duplex conversion that you're doing, and it happens to be your principal residence.
Yep.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hey, guys.
All right, Sarath, as we mentioned to people, this is your first duplex conversion. This is your primary residence.
That's correct.
So why don't we talk about, why you decided to do this? We met in April. We spoke about potentially selling your property, but we decided not to. And then let's talk about that, and then let's just jump right into the designing phase of this area, achieving parking requirements, what obstacles you had to deal with, and we'll go from there.
Cool. Yeah, so due to some personal stuff, so I thought we'd sell the property somewhere around April, and that's when we met. And then we discussed what is the option for selling and how the market looked. And then it looks like I missed the boat by 2 to 3 months. Since the market is, slowing down, and then what was the plan for selling might be not a good option at that time. And then we decided to, just increase the value of the house and then have an additional unit in the house itself for additional income, and then, supplement on the mortgage stuff. And even if I move out later on or sell it, there is an additional value in the house, and whoever is going to buy it, or if I move out, there is another tenant who's going to come and use the upstairs, so they also have another one, and that the rents won't be higher on the upper tenants too, and then the other unit can also be used for a supplement income and then paid on the mortgage faster.
Yeah, absolutely. So regarding the basement, we've spoke about the basement and what kind of rents it can achieve. So based on your homework, what do you think you can get for the basement once it's all done?
Yeah, since the rental market is picking up now, so somewhere around 1750 to 2 grand, I can expect in this house, and depending on how the finishes and stuff, I completely redo the one with all new appliances and stuff, so I can try to push it on the upper end. But 1750 to 2000 is in the range.
Yeah, no, that's very good. I think that's very accurate. You're probably on the lower side. What you're stating is probably on the lower side. You can probably get a bit more for it. And then you also made mention of multi-generational living and why that gives you a more of a point to finish the basement, because you essentially have a fairly large house here where someone buying is going to have to pay a premium for this house because it's in Whitby, it's in a good location, it's a premium corner unit. So the person buying is going to have a lot of living space above ground, so they may want to supplement that income. So to your point, the value add in the basement is huge, and the fact that it's a legal accessory apartment, because we're noticing now that there's a lot, like inspectors are walking around, if they're noticing that a basement is not legal, they're forcing landlords to get rid of their tenants, legalize it, and so on. So I think that's a very good call. So let's talk about this area over here. So initially this was supposed to be the parking requirement was supposed to be in this existing driveway. The entrance was supposed to be inside the garage going into the basement. So can we talk about what obstacles you had to deal with here?
Sure. The first thing when I planned to do for duplex was the parking requirement. So I thought since the driveway is long, I can have 4 cars easily. Then I got to know the property line stuff. So since my property line is far ahead, so only I can have 2 legal parkings in the current driveway. And my garage has a deck which is connecting the outside gazebo to my inside house. Legally, I cannot consider that as an parking. Then we decided to have another driveway and then go for another variance application to see, since it's a corner lot, I thought to have another driveway on the other side and then the driveway here. So this way a tenant can park their car and then they can just access the entrance. So directly park the car and then go there, and they don't have to come this side, and they have their own the road access too.
Right. So essentially this was a little misleading, because we thought that we can have 2 cars at the front and 2 cars at the back, but we're noticing that based on the property line, so the property line is probably here somewhere where the fences end.
That's correct.
Likely. And what the city essentially said to you was that because the property line is here, you can technically have 2 cars side by side here, but you need 1 more parking spot.
That's correct.
So initially we were going to put it in the that third one was going to be in the garage. And is that the plan right now?
Yes, the city approved if I cut out the deck space
Yeah.
so that I have the minimum length requirements for the parking.
Yeah.
So in that way, we achieved a legal parking inside the garage.
Yeah.
So there'll be one parking there and then 2 legal parking here.
Right.
So this way we can have 3 parking. Since my bedrooms count is more than 3,
Yeah.
so legally I should have 2 parking just for the upper unit.
Right.
And then 1 parking for the lower unit.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that minimum requirement is if you have 2 cars parked side by side, 18 feet
Yeah.
in distance, and then the depth has to be 18 feet
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So inside the garage, you have to remove that deck.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So this is the side of the house.
Yes.
So initially, we wanted to have a driveway
Yeah.
over there that would go all the way down to the road,
Mm-hmm.
but we have some criteria that didn't meet.
So so initially I thought since there's a driveway there, so I thought we'll mimic the exact driveway here. But yeah, so once we decided with the architect, there's a lamppost there. Then there is a variance of minimum number of distance between the lamppost and the driveway,
Yeah.
and also the setbacks from the curb to the house.
Yeah.
So these were like some of the variances which I have to apply for, and then there were like additional 2 more variances.
Yeah.
So it was a little tricky to get this approval.
So it would have taken more time. It
Yeah.
would have been additional costs, additional drawings, architects involved. Just made the planning process more difficult.
Yeah.
So essentially, what you've done now is you're going to achieve parking
Mm-hmm.
where we were previously, but then you're going to have a side entrance into the basement
Yeah.
from over here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're going to have a walk down. So you're going to
Yes.
dig this out and you're going to have a
Yeah.
walk down. going
So
to-
we thought to use the existing the smaller window as a door,
Yeah.
and then there'll be so to have a walkout connecting all the way to here,
Yeah.
and then the walk down will be on this side.
yeah, we'll
yeah.
start there and then
Yeah,
go down.
to walk down,
Okay.
and then there'll be a landing here, and then the door will be inside.
Right.
And there's another window there that
Yes.
will be the fire exit.
The
window.
egress
Yeah.
window. So can you talk about briefly what the cost is to do a walk down entrance, creating a brand new walk down entrance into the basement?
So I got variety of quotes. The reasonable one with some references I got for just for the walkout is 15 grand.
$15,000. Yeah. Do you find good value in that? The fact that you don't necessarily need to disrupt your, let's say, your garage to create a walk down into the unit. You don't need to disrupt your living.
Yeah.
It's it's pulled away from where you are. Do you think that's good value?
Yes, so we thought to do that way because one, I'll be saving the garage, and since it is saved, I have additional parking there as well. And in future, if I sell down the lane, or
Yeah.
even if the other tenant who comes and uses there, so the garage will be just for them. Or even if I sell, the new owner can
Yeah.
utilize
Yeah.
that space. So in that way, the garage is not disrupted, and this was the better option considering all the things we went through. So just extend the pathway and then have a walkout here.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we spoke about that too.
Yeah.
When we were looking at the cost benefit analysis, we said that the next person that does come in, even if they're a full size family, they still have the benefits of having 2 stories.
Yes.
They have the main floor. You have a kitchen, living room, family room. I think there's a den in there as well as like a work from home area, and then you got 4 bedrooms,
4 bedrooms upstairs. Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot of square footage. So you're still going to get good value for it, and potentially now your pool of people who want to purchase your property increases. So if someone wants to buy this, but perhaps it's expensive, they can supplement. They can get $2,000 of
Exactly.
rental income. Okay, good stuff.
And I also noticed a trend for multi-generational houses.
That's right. Yes.
So even for that, it will be a good opportunity
Yeah.
too. So in that way also we can have some additional value
Yeah.
for them.
No, that's awesome. Before we go inside, what about timelines? How long did it take to do the design process? How long did it take to get approvals?
Just for the design process, it took me around 4 months. The 2 months because I wasted time on the variances.
Right.
So once I decided the plan and not to apply for additional variances, we just then applied for the building permit. Then we have to quickly come up with another plan
Yeah.
to use the existing garage and then the driveway. And
Yeah.
then from that time, it took around 2 months for the building permit approval. approval. Then I applied to the city, and the city got back to me within 3.5 to 4 weeks with some additional changes. So from there to the end, it's 4 weeks for city, and then I took 4 months from starting to end for the variances and then the building permit design.
So if we take out the minor variance part, maybe it would have taken you 2 months.
2 months from the start to the building permit, and from the permit 4 weeks to 5 weeks with the city.
It's still a lengthy process, but unfortunately, you start with one design and then you think that's a good idea, but then you start to talk about it with people, get people to look at it, and there's different ideas.
Even I took some time as well. This is my first time doing it. A lot of things were new to me. So I had to do my own research, and then I have to cross-check with the city people. And even I went to the city 2-3 times, and the city were really helpful. I applied for the building permit by myself, so in a way I can learn the process as well. So when I asked questions with the city people, and they were really helpful. But it is a learning process for me, and I took my time in order to do it right at the first time.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're gonna walk around the property because Sarath's house has a deck over here, and there's going to be a cutout for some windows in order to achieve minimum light requirements. But before we do that, the electrical panel. So, Sarath, you have 100 amps right now.
Yes.
What's the plan for the electrical?
So now the plan is to have a 200 amps panel. So service upgrade to 200 amps. So 100 amps for the upstairs unit, and then 100 amps for the lower unit.
And they're both going to be metered separately.
Yeah, they're going to be separate meters. So this way I can have separate meters for the tenants, and then they can take care of that.
Yeah, awesome.
And a quick tip is to, if you're planning for this, apply for the permits as soon as possible. Because there is a 60 days wait time just to get this one done.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a 60 days.
60 days notice. Okay, good stuff. So 200 amps, apply right away. 60 days wait down, and then you're going to separate it. I think that's all a great idea. So let's keep walking through. So this is the deck that you have. Essentially, where we're standing is going to be a bedroom downstairs. Is that
so
correct?
somewhere around here.
Somewhere around here is
going
going
to be a bedroom. So we have to cut out a small portion in deck, and then have a window well. Then connect the drainage to the existing weeping tile. And then have a window for the bedroom.
That's right. To achieve some natural light coming into the bedroom.
Coverage,
Are you concerned that this is going to interrupt your ability to get into the backyard?
So there was a small concern about that, but this is a requirement, and we should achieve it. So that's how we have to do it now.
No, that's awesome. And then do you need any other windows back here?
So there will be 2 bedrooms, so one on this side and one on the other side.
At the front of the house.
So this side, there's just going to be one here. So there will be on the other side where we
and then the other one. Can we can get to the front of the house from here? And this is nice. You'll be able to keep the backyard for your own use.
Yes. So even if the restricted space on the deck is there, I still have an access.
Side.
And then I can use it. And also we have an access from the drive.
And then somewhere here, second bedroom is going to be over
on
here.
This side. I don't know if you notice the small bulge here. So just exactly down, there'll be a window there. So we have to remove these bushes and then have an access there. And then they can have their own natural light.
So you're going to clean this area up.
Clean this area nicely. And then do it.
Awesome. That's good. So that'll achieve the light for the bedrooms.
Yes.
And you're good to go there. Awesome. Good stuff. Okay, shall we go?
I can show you the garage quickly to show you the requirements.
This walkway will have to be eliminated, right, in order to achieve the 1 car parking requirement over here.
So technically, we can have 2 cars here, assuming I remove this completely. But I thought it is a nice addition. So I wanted to retain that, and also I am planning to put a stairs here. So if someone wants to, just use the garage, even if the lower unit tenant wants to use it, say for whatever reason, so you can come here and go and access the gazebo that side, or they can still have another access there. And for even for the upper unit, I can still access it. So I can just come here, park my car, and then I can have a staircase and going inside directly. So this way, I still have partial deck, and also I have the legal requirement for the car parking.
No, that's awesome. And I see you've already bought some stuff.
Yes.
You're ready for construction.
So as soon as I decided, whenever there's a sale comes in, I just keep on buying stuff.
Awesome, good stuff. All right, guys. So now we're going to head down to the basement, and we're essentially right here. You see where the side entrance is going to be. We're going to go downstairs, and we're going to essentially pop up where that door is going to open, and you're going to enter into the basement. All right, guys. So we're in the basement right now, and we're going to show you what the basement looks like. But essentially, it's a big open concept finished basement. It has an existing kitchen down here. It has a mechanical room. And then there's a big open area with a fireplace and a kitchenette on the other side. So we're going to look at the floor plans, and we're also going to talk about what the new proposed plan is going to look like. Before we jump into what the new floor plan is going to look like, I want to share a couple of things with you guys. So first things first is the building permit checklist. So this is a checklist that essentially talks about the different inspections you need. So for example, what you need to do is have an inspection for the footing, the foundation, the framing, the fire separation, insulation, and then the final inspection. So this is the order that you would have to follow. If there's anything that you're not sure about, you can refer to this, or you can just call the city directly. So this has to do with the building inspection, and then there's the plumbing and HVAC inspection. So they want to check the outside sanitary, the inside sanitary, the upper rough-ins, the HVAC rough-ins, and then the final plumbing. So one of the key things with plumbing is that because some of the work is underground, you always want to make sure that your inspection is done before you fill anything back, before you fill up anything that you've dig up, because if that rough-in inspection or the underground inspection hasn't passed and you filled it and the inspector comes and they need to double check certain things, you may have to dig that out. So plumbing for me is the biggest inspection that you don't want to miss, or you don't want to jump the gun on, because it's a lot of dirty work that has to go behind it. The next thing I want to show you guys briefly is the drawing that you get for the conversion. So essentially this is a copy of the drawing. There's probably 10 to 12 pages here, but the first page is fairly important because it highlights what needs to be done from an inspection perspective. So for example, these are the construction notes that should match the Ontario Building Code, and there's different things here. So for example, it'll talk about, for example, your staircases and what the rise and run maximums have to be. It'll talk about the window well and how you need to achieve, the load bearing on the window well. It has some general notes on if you have steel beams, what kind of support you need to achieve. And then it has some existing R values that you have to achieve for your insulation. So you can essentially pass this off to your general contractor, and they can use it as a point of reference. Over here, it talks about if you have wood flooring, what you need to do in order to achieve fire separation. So here it points out that you need 5/8 type X drywall in order to achieve 30 minutes of fire separation. Okay, and it has specific comments by the planning department or by the inspector that needs to be done. So you can always reference these throughout the process. Next page is really important too, because this is where you prove that you can achieve the parking requirements. So this is what we were talking about outside, being able to achieve parking for 2 cars outside and 1 car inside the garage. And this is what Sarath was talking about, of having the staircase to be able to go to his outdoor area, or have a staircase to come into his main area. Okay. The next page is also important because, again, it has notes for the general contractor to use. And then the next page is essentially where a lot of the project is surrounded around. So this talks about the existing basement layout. So it shows what we currently have, and then it goes into what the proposed basement layout is supposed to look like. And the proposed basement layout will have the 2 bedrooms that you see over here. It tells you that there's a new window here, there's a new window here. It'll tell you what the distance or what the measurements of the windows have to be in order to achieve the 5% natural light. It talks about the smoke detectors, and the smoke detectors have to be 3-in-1, so smoke, CO, and strobe, and they have to be interconnected to the upper unit. It'll talk about, for example, where you have the new walk-up or the new entrance into the basement, the sump pump or the drainage that has to go to the street. They'll comment about vents that you need in your kitchen. And then anything in red is essentially comments from the planners. So for example, the furnace room needs to achieve 30 minutes of fire separation. So you do that by either having in fire rated drywall in your ceiling or having sprinkler systems. And it talks about the minimum requirements of height underneath all beams and ducts. And yeah, so the layout just goes into a lot of details that the general contractor needs to be aware of so they can do their work in order to pass all inspections. So now that we've spoke about the floor plan, why don't you give everyone a visual of what we're going to do? So perhaps maybe we can start with where the new entrance is going to be, and then you can just quickly talk about kitchen and so on.
Cool. Yeah. So from outside, so this is where we were discussing about where the walkout will be there. So the tenants will be coming from outside. Then this is where this window will be changed into a door. And so there will be a hole cut out of here, and then the stairs, the landing will be on this side, and then we might have to have a sump pump to connect to the existing drain. So after this, the tenant will be walking from here, and then they have the access to the kitchen. So we are going to redo the kitchen completely. Another reason is because we have an electrical panel right here. Another thing which I learned, the electrical panel should be on the exterior walls. So the previous owner had the panel here since it's a recreational space for them. Now we are going to have a legal tenant, and right now since it's in the kitchen area, so I'm going to move the panel somewhere on this side of the exterior wall. This way I have to remove the cabinets, and I'm going to change all the kitchen cabinets and appliances as well. And there's also an existing window in the kitchen, so this is going to be the fire exit window as well. So this way we have to extend the width and also the height of the window size in order to have the legal requirements satisfied. So this will be the fire exit window, and then the panel will be moved. So this is a single 100 amps panel. Since I'm going to have two panels, so one panel I'm just going to move it here, and then for the upper unit I'm just going to go straight and then have it in the exterior wall as well. So in this way the electrician doesn't have to move around the wires a lot, and it is going to be the same place, it's just on the upstairs. So that way we can save some time for the electrician too, and then reduces the complexity as well. So we have a mid-efficiency furnace. Since I'm going to open up all the ceilings, and I thought now would be a good time to change the furnace as well. So I'm going to change the furnace to a high efficiency furnace, a dual stage, so that we have cleaner air circulating throughout the both upper unit and lower unit. Since I'm going to change to a high efficiency one, I won't be needing all these vents, which is going all the way to the roof. So I'll be removing this, and now there will be an ABS one for intake and exhaust. So I'm planning to take it outside and then go all the way. Perfect. And also I have a water tank which is rental. I'm going to remove the water tank and then make it into a tankless one. And I already have a small room where all my water stuffs are here. So this is my main city water inlet. And then this is my water softener. Since all my water related stuffs are within this room, I'm planning to put a tankless water heater somewhere here. Then it is a gas one, so I'm also planning to vent it out on this way. So ideally I'll be having a vent for my tankless water heater, and then the HVAC stuff.
Cool. Awesome. Good. All right, what about this area? What are we going to do with the staircase? Are you going to keep it or completely eliminate
remove
it?
that, yeah.
Completely eliminate it, and it's going to be a den?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. And then what about, so kitchen behind, this is going to be the walk-in, and then we're going to walk into this area, and then I guess this is where you're going to have your bedrooms?
Yes, so there will be 2 bedrooms here, and then this will be a storage area kind of den.
Yeah.
So the bedroom 1 would be somewhere here. This is where we were facing from the outside, where we had a small bush, so there'll be a window here, and then there'll be a window on this side where we had the deck.
Yeah.
And I'm going to remove the fireplace, so this way it is more safer for the tenants, and we don't have existing gas lines running on in the bedrooms. So this gas place will be removed, and we have a nice spacious bedroom here. Yeah. And then the previous owner had a nice bar setup.
Yeah.
It is sad it is going, but
You've had some good parties down here?
Yeah. So there was a lot of good memories here, but you have to do what you have to do. So this is going to be done, and there'll be a bedroom too here.
Okay. And then I see that you also have an existing bathroom.
Yes.
So are you going to keep the existing, the new bathroom here as well and just redo it?
Yeah. So we thought to change some layout and stuff, but since we already have the plumbings and all the rough-ins are already there, I'm going to retain the bathroom location.
That's awesome,
but I'm just going to redo the whole bathroom to bring it to the new.
So essentially, because you're keeping the kitchen where it is and the bathroom where it is, so you don't need to break the ground for any plumbing.
It depends again. So what I did after I got my building permit, I called in the inspector for initial inspection.
Right.
So the plumbing inspector came. He saw all this stuff. He said he is okay, but he has to see the exhaust vents and where the pipes are going.
Yeah.
If he is not satisfied, then he wants to dig and show where exactly it is going.
I see.
So until he is satisfied, we have to dig around and show where the vents are, where the existing layout. But if he is satisfied with whatever he is seeing, I can just remove certain stuff and then just show and then get the inspection done.
Awesome, good stuff. Okay, and then what about your ceiling? So essentially, one of the biggest things that you have to do in the basement is get fire separation.
Yes.
So you want to talk about what some of the requirements are for your ceiling?
Yes. Yeah, the main requirement for the ceiling is to have a minimum 6'5", as you explained. Another one is the fire separation. So the Ontario Building Code states that we should have minimum of 30 minutes of fire separation. Yeah. So that is achieved by the 5/8 drywall, the Type X drywall. On top of that, I'm going to put some insulation as well. And also I'm going to introduce a sono pad. So that is also for sound absorption. Like as you see, since it is empty, you can hear a lot of noises whenever someone is walking upstairs. Yeah. And I also have a toddler, so he keeps running around, and I don't want to restrict him. And as well, I also want to give a nice living experience for the tenants too. Yeah. So I'm going to have some insulation, most likely. What do you call that?
The rock solid insulation?
Yeah, I'm going to have rock solid insulation, and then sonar pad, and then the Type X drywall, and also on a resilient channel. Resilient channel also absorbs the noise, and then, so that you are not going directly into the joist. All your drywall and then the sonar pad will be going to a resilient channel. Yes. And this way you also achieve a sound separation. Sonar pad achieves a sound separation, and you also have some insulation that also dissipates the noise. So this way you have like multiple layers to protect the sound, and also you are achieving beyond the 30-minute fire rating. Yeah. So win-win in both sides.
Awesome. And then just noticing your runs for your HVAC. So are you going to keep the ductwork, or are you going to replace the ductwork?
I'm trying to keep most of the ductwork. Yeah. But the new requirement says we should also have the fire-rated drywalls in the joist cavity, even on the sides and then on the above. Yeah. This was something new. My contractor said it was new for me as well. Yeah. So I'm trying to mostly retain, but to get the permits done, so I have to fire rate on the joist cavity as
where
well.
The runs are. Yes. Yeah, that's different, because I know in Oshawa they don't need you to do that. Only where you have exhaust vents going out, you need to create a cavity. But each municipality is different. So it's good to know. Cool.
Yeah, cool. And so since there's a lot of wires running around, so we have to save the wire with a metal plate. Yeah. And then have a fire rated caulking with whatever runs going to the upper unit to fire rate that to have a complete fire separation.
Okay. Any other challenges that you faced with the basement?
Main challenge was getting a contractor for a reasonable price.
I see.
Because when I started, it was a busy time for most of the contractors. Yeah. I might have met at least 20 to 25 people, right from general contractors to sub trades. Yeah. So it was a challenge to keep track of everyone. Yeah. And since it was my first time, I was getting quotes in a wide spread. Yeah. So I had to do my research. Then I called individual trades to see what exactly it's going to cost. Yeah. And so talking with many people, then I found a contractor through another investor. Yeah. So he was doing another property for him in Oshawa for the same duplex conversion. Yeah. And it was a recommendation from an investor as well. So then I had some more one.
Do you mind telling us what the lowest point was and what the highest point was for the general contractor to do everything?
So excluding the HVAC stuff, the lowest was somewhere around 70 to 75. Yeah. And the highest I got for 250.
250K.
250K.
Just for the basement.
Just for the basement. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
and the 250 is still excluding HVAC?
yes, that was still
Wow.
it was excluding HVAC. Yeah, so each contractor, depending on what they are specialized in and how many units they are doing, so it was a widespread.
Yeah.
So that's where I had to do my research and
Yeah.
see. I even tried to just have an Excel sheet just to see how much the material is going to cost. If I say go to Home Depot and just get the material alone, just for the material alone, it was around 20K.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why they have such a big spread on the labor and stuff.
Yeah.
But that too, the 20K is from if I go to Home Depot and get it right away.
yourself,
And contractors will have better access to the prices, so they can even reduce down, and whatever is there, it's their profit and then their labor charge.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because yes, the contractor has the ability and maybe a contractor account, which you can get yourself. But there's a premium for their time to go and purchase it, right? So there's an addition to that as well. So, and then are they giving you timelines as to how long it would take to finish this project?
Somewhere around 2.5 to 3 months, assuming all goes to the plan. And the main bottleneck would be the inspection, depending on the availability of the inspector, and if they flag something, how soon we can get those done. So we have a checklist of things which we have to, at every stage in the construction process, we have to get the inspection done. So how smooth those things go, so hopefully 3 months, and it delays as the inspection passes or fails.
Yeah. Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you guys for watching. So, we talked to Sarath about what he's planning on doing to his principal residence. We spoke about a lot. We spoke about the parking requirements outside. We spoke a lot about costs designated to certain things, the walk down, what it takes to finish the basement. So if anyone wants to connect with Sarath, maybe we'll leave his contact information. If anyone wants to talk to him about his experience, who you're dealing with, you can have those conversations. And for anyone who wants to have a one-on-one call with me to kind of figure out, talk about your personal situation and what you like to achieve, which is essentially what Sarath did. We had an initial 15-minute convo, and then we met in person to talk about what he can achieve here. If you'd like to connect with me personally, my calendar link is below. Feel free to book a call with me, and we can talk about your personal scenario.
And just to add on to that, we didn't make any transaction prior, and I didn't know him personally as well. And I didn't even, get through some other referral. I just, saw your YouTubes, and then all I did to text you and then book a call. And then, we are here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we it's funny because I tell people sometimes most of the times I have to work for free for people, in order to get some trust, in order to be able to do these things, have your trust to allow me to come and do this video with you. So I appreciate you. Thank you for reaching out, and it's been a good experience. Yeah.
Same here.
Awesome.
Are you subscribed?
Yes.
Yeah.
I used